Welcome to another episode of Spirit of an Athlete. I'm your host, Amanda Smith, and on this episode, we're doing something a little different. I've invited my friend, Elyna Paizis, to allow me to demonstrate what I do in body whisper healing. This particular episode, I'm demonstrating a comprehensive 3-level body scan. Elyna has already worked with me in her initial body scan, and this is a follow on to that. And it's just a teaser, taster. Elyna will share also about her business. Her business is businessbynature.com. She helps entrepreneurial women speak their wisdom through nature. Elyna is an earth scientist, business strategist, and deep intuitive. She's been the right-hand woman in 6- and 7-figure businesses for decades. Now she works with entrepreneurial women that come to her when they need a little help expressing their wisdom without burnout. She helps her clients align their business to their nature, and voila, more money comes in and they expand into the next level of leadership. Elyna and I talk about her quiz, forceofnaturequiz.com, and how I am a volcano on her quiz. Be sure to check it out. Elyna, thank you so much for allowing me to do what we're about to do today, which is a body scan, and then sharing your own business, even though you're not particularly engaged with athletes like I am. But this is a demonstration of what I do. And then for you, you get to share your business just in case there's some listeners that are intrigued by what you're doing, which I'm always intrigued by what you're doing and love everything that's coming out of you, especially these days with the quiz and the podcast that you have, which I'm definitely going to invite you to share. But just thank you for letting me do this with you.
You're so welcome. I'm really glad to be here, Amanda.
Okay, so first things first, I have to ask permission. Do you give me permission to read your body so that one, we can demonstrate, but two, so you can get some insights on what's going on in your body and maybe even at the auric level or the ancestral level?
Yes.
Sweet. It's always important to ask for consent. So thank you for giving that to me. That's a big honor. So thank you. All right. So this is a general body scan. So I'm literally going through all of the systems, and you're going to see me like look another direction because I'm taking in a bunch of information. It's like I'm getting downloaded like a computer. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, because we've worked together before, your shoulders aren't nearly as bad as they used to be.
Hallelujah. Is it okay if I say things back, or should I
I
just be totally quiet for your download?
No, give me the feedback because I want to hear, like, does this land with you? Does it not land with you? But so normally when I dive into your body, it's like this right into the traps right at the base of your neck, and it just goes down, and they're highlighted. It's still there. But what I'm feeling is it's getting softer, which is huge for you because the first time I met you and actually got to put hands on your back, you were a rock. And now you're more like a puddle.
Yay, pedal.
So yay. Okay. All right. More malleable there. So what that's done for you though, now that we're starting to see some more fluid movement in that area, is there's a little, you're not quite sure how to hold yourself in the front side now. There's an imbalance, which it's showing up at the intercostals in between your ribs. There's like a little uneasy points where it's like, I'm going to collapse. No, no, open, open, open.
Yes, that feels true.
Right. And it's, what's funny is it's hovering right over your heart. And it's not your heart that's the issue. It's just that little intercostal area in between each rib that's kind of getting squished and gooey and squishy in that way. And then when you open it back up and go back to expansion, and I know you play pickleball, so this is going to play into your pickleball game too. When you get into that bigger expansive breath, there's some push pull going on and
Mm,
a little bit of pain. Is your neck popping a lot more?
yes, all
Right.
parts of my neck, and also I guess you'd call it like my sternum. Like I'm often like popping. It's like extending those ribs and those intercostal muscles. It's like I extend them for a moment and I do a big stretch and I pop some piece of my sternum, and then I love the stretched out feeling in those intercostal muscles, but then I can't keep it. It's like
Yeah.
what you're pointing at. It's like I love that feeling, and then I struggle with that being the regular felt sense of where my body is most of the time.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay, I've got some suggestions for that at the end. So, yeah, we're like strictly at the muscle and skeletal level right now. We haven't even gotten into the nitty-gritty or organs and stuff, but your low back's taken a big old hit. And it's like the highest lumbar vertebrae that just it feels like it wants to wobble. And it's kind of your pivot point where like you stick your booty out, tuck it back in. That's the vertebrae that stays put, but it's doing a little more than staying put. It's we've got some disc slipping going on in that spot.
Mm.
Does that resonate with you?
Yeah, I've been doing more, I guess you say strength training. I've been going to the gym and lifting more weights. And
Sweet.
yeah, it's been feeling great. But the point in my body that you're talking about right now is exactly the spot that I notice when I do squats or deadlifts. It's the spot where it feels like I have so much strength and things are going well. And then it doesn't feel like my lower back is giving out, but I'm always surprised at how the rest of me feels so strong, but then I'm that spot in my back feels kind of like the weakest link.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Okay. Which it's connected to your psoas, and the psoas is like the seat belt from the top to the bottom of your body. And in most animals, we would call this the filet mignon. It holds the most emotions. That is the emotional center of the body is the psoas. People say it's the hips, but it's not. It's actually the psoas. And those people would be people like me who study things like the emotions tied to the body part, sort of thing. All right. You need to work on some tendon stuff, some more explosiveness in your tendons, particularly around your knees. So like box jumps, stuff like that. Because I'm feeling your both knees have it, but the right knee more so. The patella tendon, so the tendon that goes over your kneecap, is not happy now.
Okay.
That's going to need some more because you're doing a lot of pickleball. I can feel it in your feet.
Yes.
Your feet are
Pickleball and
lit up.
dance. I've
And
started
dance.
dancing again, and I've been taking multiple dance classes, including a burlesque dance class, which I've been getting really into.
Ooh. Oh, okay. That's why your hips are so saucy. All right. Yeah, your hips are like they want to move. Like and it's like
Yes.
side to side, not so much front to back, but side to side. And you can kind of see like I'm moving around a bit more because that's what's going on in your body. Checking in with some organs now. So we got a little bit of a headache going on at the temporal lobes. Into your jaw. What's going on the right side of your jaw?
I don't feel
Ooh,
anything on the right side more specifically than the left side, but I feel like my jaw has been tight for years, but it doesn't, in my body, it doesn't feel like more tightness or discomfort than usual.
okay. All right. So it's neck, jaws, head, and it's that flow up. This is your volcano. It's wanting to surge out, which in Ayurveda that's the pitta getting pushed. So you've got vata pushing pitta in your body, which is air pushing fire, air breathing on the fire. My jaw, the right side, is all sorts of clicky. Can you hear it?
I can't, but I
Okay,
can see
yeah.
your face, and I can tell from your face that something's going on.
Right here. Right in that TMJ-ish joint. But you're not grinding, which is good, and you're clenching. So it's not that your teeth are rubbing back and forth and you're creating that grindy noise. It's that you're like clenched. Pickleball is making you clench and work is making you clench. Dance is making
Mm.
you go, ah. Dropping down into your guts, because I know this is one of the areas that we tend to look at for you. There's a bit of stuff going on in the colon, but mm,
I've been working on my gut, so
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
hoping that you find less stuff going on there.
Stomach slightly irritated, but not nearly as bad as you used to be. You used to get a lot of acid reflux stuff, and this is a lot better. The intestinal tract is doing well, except for the descending colon. That's the only spot where the floor is still a little off. There's still a little irritation, but it's not where you have been before. So this is good. Good progress. Good job. Looking at the liver, the spleen, the gallbladder, they're much more fluid. There's nice flow through those organs and good communication as well. That's a good sign. Pineal glands wide open, thyroid's functioning properly. Like I'm going to all the hormone centers now. Your adrenals are a little taxed, but it's not like something that's unmanageable. Okay. All right. Your bubble's nice and solid. Good job.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's that auric level that we play in. That's, for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, it's like when you're walking in a crowd and you want to maintain a certain distance from someone, that's your energetic field. That's your auric level. And sometimes it can have kersplats, is what I like to call it, but it looks like you either blew out that way or somebody like tried to bomb you from the outside. You don't have any of that this time. That's good. Uh, right?
Great. Love.
All right, taking in the ancestral line here. They love what you're doing. That's the message. You're on the right track and keep going. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. You need a couple more months of that. Okay.
Okay.
That's the higher message, higher self message, if you will. Left eye. What's going on with your left eye?
I haven't noticed anything with my left eye.
Okay. Yeah, I just got like this huge like power surge through the top of my head down through the left eye, and I was just like, "Meow." Must pay attention and ask. Okay, so if nothing's going on
Yeah.
with the left eye, I'll let it lie.
Yeah,
Left
nothing's
side,
been, I
it's
mean, I haven't noticed anything going on, but the moment you said it and I tuned into my left eye, my vision does feel slightly blurrier. Not blurry, like when you're looking through both eyes, I think the other eye compensates well enough that you can't really tell with just that, but
mhm,
my right eye
mhm.
does feel, when I put one hand over my left eye, my right eye does feel, my eyesight feels very strong, and when I
Yep,
put my hand over my right eye, things feel drunk.
fuzzy.
Yeah, things don't actually look super fuzzy, but it's almost like the eye feels hungover or something. Like I would have to drag it up to a new level of energy to have it function well.
Yeah, so it's struggling to take in the information is what's going on. Okay. All right. So if we divide the body in half, left and right, left, there we go. My left. Uh, left is feminine. Not for everybody, but for you, definitely. Most people, it's left is feminine and left is past. Right is masculine and future. And that's true for you. We have eye dominance. That's a just scientifically one eye will take over for the other, and it's like the eye that works the hardest is if you're a right-handed person, it's usually your right eye. If you're a left-handed person, it's usually your left eye. I'm one of those people who's flip-flopped it. My left eye is my dominant. That played out entertainingly in sports. The message for you is one, let's strengthen the eyes so that the input is solid coming into both, but also um, it's this feminine piece around around feminine power and this understanding that feminine power looks different than masculine power, and you have both, and you need to honor both. That's fun. I feel like it's that for you, it's this duality between pickleball and dance. Like pickleball sports is more of a logical masculine thing, and dance is more of a creative feminine thing. And you're going for the balance that way. But find the feminine power, the feminine strength in both of them because it's there.
Okay.
The feminine strength in creative dance is going to be that commanding, look at me kind of thing. And the feminine strength in pickleball is going to be how can I get really creative with my next hit and maybe make it slice, things like that.
I like
Okay.
that. Okay.
Right? Yeah, that's interjecting that creativeness into the sport, which is going to be good for you to think about that too. That'll make that eye stronger. Ooh,
Yeah, I
yeah, yeah.
don't think about that at all in pickleball. So already you just saying that, I'm like, okay, yeah, that is a new avenue.
Right? Right? But I mean, it's a layer, right? Because when we're first learning a new sport, it's how the heck do I do this thing? And then
Yeah,
once we
it
get
has
to
currently been, can I make my serves and can I regularly get said ball over net, you know? But I can do those things fairly well at this point. So yeah, it's time for next skill,
next, level
next
it up. So
layer.
now it's can I get the ball over the net in my serve and can I do it funky? Yeah. Okay. You're on board. All right.
Yeah.
Some tidbits going back to this finding the balance between the front back body. Front body is introception, internal focus. Back body is community and accepting community. Trust falls. Really? That's the message. You need to do more trust falls. Your nervous system needs you to do some more back body work. So, what that would look like would be trust falls or rocking forward, backward in a play, or with the dance. If you're doing more of like a modern dance, you can really like lay matrixy style into some of your movements.
Mm.
Yeah, and then I just got a whole bunch of pop, pop, pops when I did that. So that that landed. But that's gonna be good for your nervous system to go, I'm safe going backwards. I am
Mm,
safe in this direction. Doing jump back in the gym, like as a workout, jumping
mm.
backwards. It's fascinating to watch people do this if they haven't done it in a while and they're like, I don't know. But then getting your nervous system to go with that flow of jumping backwards, it's phenomenal how that
Okay,
plays out in this balance between front and back. So those are some
cool.
things to play with in that regard. Uh, Isometrically, it doesn't sound like I was like, oh, maybe she should do some yoga poses. Like my logical brain said, have her do some heart openers. Just lay in a heart opener. No, that's not what your body needs. Your body needs movement backwards.
Okay.
Okay, which is also going to play into this psoas thing that's going on. Yeah, you really want to do like shimmying, hip shimmies, like belly dancer style. Play with front, back, and belly rolls. That's That's going to innervate all of the stuff that you got going on. One with the colon and two with the psoas. So those are some things to play with as far as movement is concerned. And then from a mindset perspective, we're looking at what does feminine strength mean to me? We'll talk about some of that offline. What does forward backward movement in my body, how does that feel from a logical perspective? Like, what is your brain telling you? Like, oh, jumping backwards, but belly rolls, yeah, I'm down with that. Why one over the other?
Yeah, my
It-
brain to the belly rolls is like, what's the point? My brain to the jumping backwards is like, oh, someone important told me that this is going to strengthen certain things in my body, and thus it is a good reason to do it.
All right. So jelly rolls, belly rolls, jelly rolls. Uh, we're expanding and contracting all of the vertebrae. And because we've got some disc issues going on, it's going to actually open up those discs and then compress and open. And getting that movement in the spine is going to allow the spine to heal itself. Magic or science. The jumping backwards bit is like literally propelling yourself in reverse, is like jumping into your past, jumping into community, jumping into the unknown. Because, I mean, we don't have eyes in the back of our heads and we're not owls. So we're not like, I'm going to look back behind me and jump at the same time. That never happens because it would hurt. Hurts my neck just thinking about that. But it's going to be beneficial for sure. Yeah. And your guides are like, just do it. You have a very sassy family member, a female family member that is going, you're just going to do it. Feminine strength. I got your feminine strength, is what she's saying. Oh, it feels like ant energy, also, just so you know.
Mm.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that feels complete. Feel complete to you?
Yeah, that feels like plenty of information to work with, and it's nice. I'm just going to go through it and say it aloud so
Yes.
I really land it. So we'll start where we left off. Jumping backwards, moving backwards in general, and body rolls, like softer jelly fluid body rolls,
Mm-hmm.
and leaning into both masculine power and more feminine power. That was the message through the eyes. And in pickleball, especially paying attention to ways to be creative and, I guess I would say, kind of, yeah, fun and expressive and creative, and bring in more of the feminine power in that type of movement. Whereas dance, it kind of already comes through. And keep going with the improvements, the changes I have been making, and that they're going well, and that it's worth just continuing those. And in a few more months, it sounds like something might happen in a few more months, or there might be some sort of next growth edge, but just to continue on, which feels really helpful. And that my shoulders are same thing, like whatever I'm doing for those is working. So keep doing that. And uh and then it sounded like the intercostal unease will probably just right itself as I do these different things, because really that feels not necessarily like anything's wrong, but more of just a growth spot in the process of my back softening. Uh, did I miss anything super
The jaw.
blatant? The
The jaw.
jaw. The jaw.
You're not grinding, but you are clenching. Stop
Clenching.
clenching.
Stop punching. It sounds kind of embarrassing to say aloud, but like I don't know how, because what what feels what I'm doing doesn't it doesn't feel like clenching to me, which means that it's just so clenched that it's just kind of in a permanent clench spot.
Uh-huh.
I guess I can do self jaw massage.
Careful with self-massage on the jaw because it's so soft. It's so
Mm,
gentle. Remember that vibrating pen? I don't have it with me here, or I would show
yes.
you, but the vibrating pen on your jaw would feel really, really good, especially that point right there. So I'm not way back
Mm,
by the ear. I'm up where the top and the bottom jaw meet, and
mhm.
and there's some muscle right there, and you can stick your finger in your mouth and actually touch it, but like if you're ever to do your own massage, it's super gentle. You don't want to go deep with that area at all, you
Mm,
specifically, but vibration would be really good. And then
mm.
just when you're sitting at your desk, you could, I mean, you could stick that pen in your mouth and turn it on vibrate, and it would, you hold it there and vibrate, and it would actually release a lot of that tension buildup that you feel like, I just feel like I'm constantly clenching. That would
Yeah.
release it. The other thing to
Yawning, and
do,
as we're talking, I'm like you just kind of purposefully yawning and touching my jaw a little bit, and that I can tell something's releasing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Sitting at your desk, just hold a pen
Hmm.
in between your teeth. I don't advise breathing in and out your mouth, but holding a pen in, yes, and a nice soft, and yeah. And then
Hmm.
you can actually like bob it up and down and get some action in your cheeks.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Those are some fun little tools. Face
Perfect.
yoga. Okay. That's complete. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. All right, Elyna. You ready to talk about your business?
Oh, yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. So, give us the lowdown on what your business is, please.
Yes. So my business is called Business by Nature, and it's specifically for women entrepreneurs who are pretty much overwhelmed, stuck in their work, and moody about their work. And for me, those all of those symptoms are a sign that our work is not aligned to our inner nature. It's not aligned to the way we think, the way we naturally find flow, our creative cycles. And so I basically go in mostly with women, although if you're listening to this and it calls to you and you're not a woman, let's talk. But it tends to be women who fall victim, that's not even the right word, victim to this, that fall in this trap, because I think for so long the way we've been taught about business and how to work doesn't really match women's cycles, and not just their menstrual cycle and this 28-day cycle, but just their truly their creative cycles. So I have this really fun quiz that I love sending people to. It's called the Force of Nature quiz, and you can just go to forceofnaturequiz.com and take this quiz, and you'll find out what is your force of nature, what type of force of nature do you have. So there's volcano and wildfire and wind, and in learning this, you'll get to hear about how the earth creates and how that relates to how you create. And whether or not we ever work together, my hope is that you take this quiz and that you get something from it that gets to lighten the load, take some of the pressure off your shoulders, and have you find more flow and ease and grace with the work you do, whether it's professional or home, raising kids, or volunteer work. This is all work. It's just, our society looks at it all differently in terms of money.
Mhm. I'm a volcano.
You are a volcano. Correct. Correct.
I remember
Yep.
taking it and sitting there going like, "Huh, yeah. Yeah, that feels right." And at the same time, like, I did not realize to think of it in this way of how, like, I like to do a lot of the groundwork, and then when it comes to the precipice, I'm
Mm.
like, "Eh."
Mm.
Uh-huh,
Oh, I like
uh-huh.
hearing that. Yeah, that
Yeah,
analogy.
yeah.
Yeah, I do. It's just like you have this exquisite gift tapping into people's bodies. It is so interesting learning where we all have our unique gifts. And I've discovered in my adulthood, although it tracks back to childhood, but in my adulthood, I have realized that yes, I have some sort of unique connection with Earth and the way I see things and experience things and see other people's gifts really do relate to these. Yeah, is it science or magic? Relate to these ways that Earth processes things. Like my background, I went to UC Berkeley for physical geography. My background is also science, but it's
Hmm.
Earth science. So, yeah, yeah, the volcanoes. I love the volcanoes. I call them my empire builders
Yeah.
because, yep, they
Goals.
just pretty much always have new ideas. They always have new ideas. They're always implementing their new ideas. Sure, they need help sometimes implementing their new ideas because otherwise they burn out and tend to accidentally undercharge because they just are so obsessed with doing their work that they're just happy to keep going. So
Mhm.
sometimes I have to be like, hey, volcanoes, you know, get get some more of a life and you know up your prices a little bit so that way you don't,
This is why I have a
you can
kid.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, and I'm a river. We
Yes.
rivers tend to I mean, we can flow exquisitely when we're rocking, but we need confinement to flow because otherwise we just get overwhelmed really easy and have so many ideas in our head and don't know which way to go and anything feels possible but yet nothing feels doable. So yeah, you need the river banks, you need the sides of the mountain, you need the edges, you need the rocks of the river to actually compress the river enough. Otherwise, you just have a floodplain, which is what a lot of us rivers experience when we're having a hard go.
Yeah, you turn into an ocean.
Yeah, that's not in the ocean. So we don't it's just ocean on land. It's pretty weird. It's
So once
a
upon a
lot of
time, this
emotions
planet was
not
that way,
quite
right?
knowing where they go.
You're just going back to Ice Age, prehistoric times. Water everywhere.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. All right, Elyna,
Yeah.
where can people find you besides the Force of Nature quiz? It's not forceofnaturequiz.com, is it?
It is forceofnaturequiz.com. Yes,
Yes.
you can go to forceofnaturequiz.com and take the quiz. And you can find me at my website, which is businessbynature.com. And the Force of Nature quiz also will link back to my website. So no worries. And yeah, I work with mostly women entrepreneurs. But if anything I said really spoke to you, I'm happy to talk.
Yeah. I'm sure the quiz will probably help people understand if they're in the corporate world, what kind of a corporate person they are too.
Oh,
Just a
absolutely.
little
Yeah, it's really
translation.
linked. It's totally linked to basically where you have the easiest success. I kind of look at it like how did nature design you? And can you tap and leverage how nature designed you so you don't have to overwork so hard in these other departments because the overworking tends to lead to burnout in any entrepreneurial, corporate, anything. So yeah, I really look at it like just tapping the power of nature inside ourselves for greater ease.
I love that. I mean, it's definitely my jam. Getting outside, doing doing your work outside. We weren't meant to be in houses. We're meant to have shelter,
No,
but not stay in a house all day long or not stay in a
not
corporate building all day long,
yeah,
depending on what kind of worker you are. But yeah, like, yes. Elyna, thank
totally.
you so much for sharing that and allowing me to do your body scan and share all of that information with everyone as well.
Thank
Appreciate
you
you.
so much, Amanda. I got so much out of that. I got my list of things to work on over here. I appreciate you.
Yeah. It really just boils down to feminine strength and find the flow in your body forward to back.
Sounds like my business. I just got a dose of my own medicine right there. There you go. Thanks, universe.
Isn't that how it always works?
Yes, that is pretty much how it always works, ironically. Yeah.
Awesome. Elyna, thanks again.
Thanks for listening to Spirit of an Athlete podcast. If you're struggling with your own gut issues and want more direction, you can get an initial body scan from Amanda at bodywhisperhealing.com. In 20 minutes, you can find out what's wrong, get clarity, map the path forward, and get on track to get back in your game. If this episode hits the spot, please let us know by rating, reviewing, and sharing it with a friend. Subscribe now to hear more inspiring stories from other female college athletes who overcame their health issues. Want more, Amanda? Get inspired by finding more at bodywhisperhealing.com.